Hello and welcome back. In this tutorial video, I will demonstrate how to complete exercise 28, Practice Drawing Arcs 2 in the Rhino Training Manual Level 1. Now, please note that this model will require the Small Objects Millimeters template. Let's begin by renaming layer 01 to center lines. You can do this by clicking one time on the layer's name. Once again, let's rename that to center lines, and let's change the layer's color to gray. Then click OK. Now, you'll notice that I've drawn a completed and annotated model on the right-hand side for reference. We will start this model by drawing center lines. Then we will use the intersection points of these center lines to draw our arcs and curves. We will draw this model using only object snaps and the line, circle, and arc commands. Now let's change the current layer to center lines. From the curve menu, click line, then click single line. In the command bar, click both sides. For middle of line, type 0, then press enter. For end of line, type 0.25, comma, 0, then press enter. These are absolute coordinates. Once more, from the curve menu, click line, then click single line. In the command bar, click both sides. For middle of line, type 0, then press enter. For end of line, type 0, comma, 0.25, then press enter. Now, click and drag to make a window selection, and in the command bar, type group, and then press enter to group the center lines together. Now, we will copy the remaining center lines along the x-axis. There are 3 more. 1, 2, 3. Now, make sure the group for the center lines is selected. Now, from the transform menu, click copy. For point to copy from, pick the intersection of the 2 lines. For point to copy to, type 2.5, comma, 0. Then press enter. For point to copy to, type 5, comma, 0. Then press enter. For point to copy to, type 7, comma, 0, then press enter twice. These are all absolute coordinates. Next, we will copy the top and bottom center lines on the left-hand side of the model. 1 and 2. Once again, make sure the centerline group is selected on the far left. Then, from the Transform menu, click Copy. Next, let's change the current layer to the default layer, and let's lock the center lines layer. Now we're ready to begin with the model. Let's begin with the circle on the right. In the command bar, type circle, then press enter. For center of circle, click on the intersection of the center line on the right. For radius, type 0.75, then press enter. Next, we will practice with some center start angle arcs. From the curve menu, pick arc, then pick center start angle. For the center of arc, pick the center of the circle on the right. For the start of arc, type 1.25, then press enter. Toggle ortho on, make sure it's on. If it isn't, you can click directly in the status bar to toggle ortho on or off. Right? Once you have ortho on, drag in the straight down direction and click. And lastly, for endpoint or angle, type 180, then press enter. We have 3 more to go. Let's continue. From the curve menu, pick arc, then click center, start, angle. For the center of arc, pick the intersection of the center line on the top left. For the start of arc, type 0.5, then press enter. Toggle in the straight up direction and click. For endpoint or angle, type 90, then press enter. Once more, from the curve menu, pick arc, then click center, start, angle. For the center of arc, pick the intersection of the center line on the middle center line on the far left. For the start of arc, type 1.25, then press enter. Now toggle in the down direction and click. For endpoint or angle, type 180, then press enter. Once more, from the curve menu, pick arc, then click center, start, angle. For center of arc, pick the intersection of the center line on the bottom left. For the start of arc, type 0.5, then press enter. Toggle in the left direction and click. For endpoint or angle, type 90, then press enter. Next, we will draw single lines with relative XY coordinates. From the curve menu, click line, then click single line. For the start of line, pick the top endpoint of the arc on the right. For end of line, type R, -4.5, comma 0. Then press enter. These are relative coordinates. Once more, from the curve menu, click line, then click single line. For the start of line, pick the bottom endpoint of the arc on the right. For end of line, type R, -4.5, comma 0. Then press enter. These are relative coordinates. Once more, from the curve menu, click line, then click single line. For the start of line, pick the top right endpoint of the arc on the top left. For end of line, type R1, comma 0. Then press enter. These are relative coordinates. Once more, from the curve menu, click line, then click single line. For the start of line, pick the bottom right endpoint of the arc on the bottom left. For end of line, type R1, comma 0. Then press enter. These are relative coordinates. Next, we will draw single lines using the End O snap. Right-click to bring back the previously used single line command. For the start of line, click on the bottom endpoint of the small arc on the top left. For the end of line, click on the top endpoint of the large arc in the center. Right-click to bring up the single line command once more. For the start of line, click on the bottom endpoint of the large arc in the center. For the end of line, click on the top endpoint of the small arc on the bottom left. Now, we will practice with a couple of start and radius arcs. From the curve menu, click arc, then click start and radius. For the start of arc, pick the top right endpoint of the small line on the top left. For the end of line, click line, then click single line. These are relative coordinates. Once more, from the curve menu, click arc, then click start and radius. For the start of arc, pick the top right endpoint of the small line on the top left. For the end of line, click line, then click single line. These are relative coordinates. Once more, from the curve menu, click arc, then click start and radius. For the start of arc, pick the top right endpoint of the small line on the top left. For the end of arc, pick the left endpoint of the line below it. For radius and orientation of arc, type 1, then press enter. Now toggle in the right direction and click. Once more, from the curve menu, click arc, then click start, end, radius. For the start of arc, pick the right endpoint of the small line on the bottom left. For the end of arc, pick the left endpoint of the line above it. For radius and orientation of arc, type 1, then press enter. Now toggle in the right direction and click. Lastly, let's draw the elongated circle in the center. As a side note, the term stadium refers to the shape of an elongated circle. If you think about it, this is quite fitting, since the form closely resembles the plan of an actual athletic stadium. From the curve menu, pick arc, then pick center, start, angle. For the center of arc, pick the intersection of the center line on left center. For the start of arc, type 0.5, then press enter. Toggle in the up direction and click. For endpoint or angle, type 180, then press enter. Once more, let's go to curve, arc, center, start, angle. For the center of arc, pick the intersection on the center line on right center. For the start of arc, type 0.5, then press enter. Toggle in the up direction, then click. For endpoint or angle, type -180, then press enter. Now let's use single lines and the end O-snap to complete the stadium. From the curve menu, click line, then click single line. For start of line, pick on the top endpoint of the arc on the left center. For end of line, pick on the top endpoint of the arc on the right center. Right-click to bring up the single line command once more. For start of line, pick on the bottom endpoint of the arc on the left center. For end of line, pick the bottom endpoint of the arc on the right center. We're almost done. Now, click on the Perspective Viewport tab at the bottom of the screen to change the viewport to perspective. And we're going to need to use the scroll wheel on our mouse to zoom in a bit. Now click on the pull-down menu in the viewport title, and let's change the viewport style to shaded. To conclude this exercise, we will extrude our drawing into a three-dimensional object. Click and drag your mouse from left to right to window select your drawing. Now, from the solid menu, pick extrude planar curve, then click straight. For extrusion distance, type 1, then press enter. And that's it. That concludes exercise 28. Keep leveling up your Rhino skills, subscribe, and stay tuned. I'll see you next time.